Welcome back to the podcast. It's your host, Cynthia Uzuku Hammonds. I am so happy to be back with you. So sorry that this episode is coming up a day late. Yesterday was crazy. I have been under the weather for now a whole month. You might hear it in my voice a little bit. I am healed, but there's still like that residual hoarseness in my throat. So just forgive me in advance. I'm really excited to get in today's topic, and you can tell by the title. Basically, today we are talking about getting your life back on track after you've fallen off of your routine. I finally am starting to feel like myself again. So I am trying to just get myself back into the swing of things and almost doing like a reset. I thought this would be a great topic for this episode because this is a wellness podcast for ambitious women. And I feel like one of the things that we as ambitious women need to hear is that it's okay to fall off the wagon. You just got to get right back up on it. But first, as always, we like to start with our affirmation. And this one is to love yourself is to know yourself. So just sit with that and ponder on what you feel like that means. I personally resonate with this because I think it's really important to be honest with who you are and where you're at in your life without judgment. And just allow yourself to pause, reset, and start all over. You need to know who you are and where you're at in order to get to where you need to go. So that is our affirmation for the day. I really did like that one. And what I'm looking forward to this week is just feeling like myself again. That is what I'm looking forward to, is feeling like a normal person. I went to work out with my friend today, and it was so nice to just be back into my routine. We went to a 5:30 a.m. sculpt class, and it just felt so good. I really love hot sculpt. It just gets the muscles flowing, and it just feels good to feel strong again because I really haven't been able to work out in these last 4 weeks. And so it's nice. What I am leaving behind is not only just these last 4 weeks of feeling like absolute crap, but I'm leaving behind a scarcity mindset. And the reason why I thought about this was because I noticed that even when I wasn't feeling well, I was still pushing myself. Because if you don't know, when you're a dentist, you don't get paid unless you are treating patients. That's just the reality of it. And if you don't show up to work, especially if you're running an office by yourself, nobody else gets to show up to work. Like the hygienists, the assistants, they're relying on you to show up and to be present and to do your job. Your patients who will take time off work, will arrange childcare to come in. There's a lot of guilt that's associated with missing a day of work when you are a healthcare provider, especially like a dentist. And I really did feel that. But it got to the point where I was like, I need to stay home. I need to get better. And so I took the day off. And thankfully, I have other doctors that work in my office most days. And it wasn't just me that day. And so the hygienists were still able to come in, the assistants, the office managers, everybody was still able to come in. But that scarcity mindset, I feel like it not only is it dangerous for you, but it's dangerous for other people when you are just running yourself ragged to the point where you can't be effective. And that's a scarcity mindset that I'm completely letting go of. If I need time off to just feel better, then I'm going to take that time off. And with that being said, let's get into today's topic. We're talking about how to get back on track. Now, I really enjoy listening to morning routines and what the little wellness hacks that people do to make themselves successful. I really do enjoy listening to that type of content. And so I figured it would be good to kind of share with you the things that I have been incorporating as I've been resetting myself back into my routine that have been really been working for me. This isn't advice. This is not me telling you to do any of this stuff. I'm just telling you what works for me. Okay. But I feel like we, as really ambitious women in leadership who have really big responsibilities at work or moms, I feel like sometimes we may have a tendency to trivialize self-care, like it's vain or it's vapid or whatever. And I want to say that it's so important for you to pour into yourself just as much as you're pouring into other people, and make sure that you are able to pour out from overflow and not from lack. Because it's so hard to show up for the people in your life if you feel very, very depleted. And I really want to challenge that way of thinking. It is important to take care of yourself because you're going to find yourself in a situation where you're going to look up, you're not going to recognize yourself. And it's going to affect your self confidence. It's going to affect your physical well being, your mental well being, your spiritual well being. If you are not tending and caring for yourself, it's hard to pour out of lack. So I really want to just challenge that thought. If you feel like this feeling of, oh, that's vain or it's not important. No, it is important. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to just walk you through exactly how I'm resetting my routine. And I really want to start from my nighttime routine because I feel like your nighttime routine is just as important, if not more important than your morning routine because it sets you up for the next day. So I'm going to go through everything and I'm going to talk about some of the products that I use that I really like and kind of give you some my review on them. So anyway, starting off with the nighttime routine, I have decided to pick a hard stop time to wind down. So for me, that's 8:30 p.m. It's wind down time. So before I would be in the living room with my husband, he'd be watching some show and I'd be on my phone scrolling and then I'd fall asleep on the couch and then he'd wake me up around 11 or so till it be time to get ready for bed. And then I'd go shower and in my bathroom with these really bright lights. So by the time I'm laying down, I'm wide awake. So now I'm scrolling on my phone and then I probably won't fall asleep till 1 o'clock in the morning. And that's just so unhealthy, just having that bright light. And we know even science shows that like having that excessively bright light in your eyes right before bed can really affect your REM sleep and being able to go into deep sleep. So my cutoff time now, 8:30, I am going into our bedroom and I don't turn on the big lights. I have a hatch, which oh my goodness. Highly, highly, highly recommend. I got mine with the gift cards that I got from my wedding. And this thing is so amazing because you can kind of set it up to like your wind down time. So for my wind down time, it'll turn on this red light and it's very calming. So I'll have a red light going on in the bedroom and then it'll have rain sounds, like kind of nice, calming rain sounds. And then in the bathroom, I don't turn on the big light. I have a bunch of candles. I put two on my sink and then one in the shower because I have like a shelf thing in the shower and I'll light my candles and oh my goodness, game changer. It gives very much spa, just nice, just relaxing vibes. And it really just sets the tone for like, okay, we're winding down now. We're getting ready for bed. I'll start my shower. And even just like the smells of everything, it really has been doing wonders in just calming my nervous system to get me ready to go to bed. So as the water is heating up, I'll go and pick out my gym outfit for the next morning. I'll make sure that everything's super accessible. Set down the thermostat. Now, I actually did some research while I was doing this episode because I love to give you a little bit of research, a little bit science-backed information. So after I've picked out my gym outfits, I'll go and turn down the thermostat. Sleep psychologists actually say that you want your room between 60 to 67 degrees Fahrenheit to optimize for sleep. So think of your room as like a cave. You want it dark, cold, and quiet. Now, I'm definitely going to show this to my husband because he's always complaining that our house is an igloo, which fair, but I only have it at 68. So I'm actually going to bring it down lower because science says it needs to be at 67. That's so that your body is able to really go into that deep sleep. So then I'll usually play something nice and light on YouTube while I'm taking a shower. And one of my guilty pleasures is these comfort creators on YouTube. And I love watching a good comfort creator. It could be someone who's cleaning their house or just a slow Sunday morning reset. I love that kind of stuff. It's so calming. I don't need anything that's going to rev me up at night. I don't want to see anything scary. I don't want to see anything too crazy. I'm not trying to read the news, nothing. I don't want to look at any of that stuff because it just raises your heart rate. And I need to be calm and relaxed. So definitely recommend that. And then for my shower, I love Sol de Janeiro body washes. They smell so good. Right now, I'm using the purple one. And I will use my Sol de Janeiro body wash. Also, sometimes I'll do a body scrub. Tree Hut has amazing body scrubs. They have one that's like a midnight one. So lots of lavender. I'm very into the vanilla-y lavender smells. I think it's so good for winding down. So I'll have that. I'll also sometimes use my L'Occitane shower oil, and it's like this oil that you rub down while you're in the shower and then you rinse it off, and your skin just feels so nice and smooth. And so I'll do that, and then I'll get out of the shower. My mother-in-law got me this towel warmer. It's just like those little luxuries that you don't even realize you need. Game changer. I love that thing. So I'll grab my towel and my nice fluffy robe. I'll put those in my towel warmer while I'm getting my area ready before I go into the shower. So by the time I get out, it is so yummy and warm, and I'll just like put it on, and then I start putting on my oils. So I'm very big on the oils and the body butters. It's so weird because my face gets oily during the summer and then dry during the winter, but body skin is always super dry. So I will layer up with the oils, with the body butter. So right now I'm using the EO Vanilla Cashmere. It smells so good. I think it's perfect for right when you're about to go to sleep. So I'll do that. I'll do my skincare routine. Sometimes I'll even do sculpting with my cold sculptor, and I'll use this really nice face oil from Aesop. I think that's how they say it, Aesop. It's like this rosemary face or parsley seed face oil. So good. And I'll use that with my face roller. And just sometimes when I just need that stress relief, it works so well. There's also this migraine oil that one of my coworkers gave me, and I think it's from those, like, essential oil people were selling those, kinda like Herbalife. You know, like Herbalife people it was like this for essential oils. Again, I don't know, it kinda gave, like, Mary Kay vibes type of thing, but they have this oil for migraines. That stuff works so well. So if you have any like, aches or pains or you're feeling like a migraine, sometimes I'll even rub that around my temples and on my neck. Game changer. That thing is so good. I'll post about it on my Instagram if you're interested. I definitely recommend that. I don't know about any of their other products, but that stuff really works. And then I also have the aloe magnesium spray. Magnesium is really good for winding you down and help calming your nervous system. I also take a supplement of magnesium that I'll get into in just a sec, but I have the spray and I'll spray it at the bottom of my feet before I go to bed. So that's all the body stuff that I'll do. And then I'll put on a pair of cute pajamas. And I'm super big about house slippers. I don't like to walk around barefoot, and I love some good fluffy house slippers. I have house slippers all over my house and a nice fluffy robe. So I'll put all of this on and then I'll go grab my supplements. And I get my supplements from this place called Formula Wellness. They have a couple of clinics here in Dallas, but essentially you go in there, they'll do your blood work, they'll do like a full metabolic panel on you. And then based off of your blood work, they will formulate supplements for you to take that help with your deficiencies. And one of the things I had talked to them about is optimizing more for my sleep. And so in my nighttime, because I have a morning supplement pack and then a nighttime one, in the nighttime one, it has magnesium L3 and 8 because there's different types of magnesium, but this one's really bioavailable, and it's the one that actually crosses through the blood vein. Excuse me. It's the one that crosses through the blood-brain barrier. So it increases the level of magnesium in the brain. Now, this is really good, not only for cognitive function, but also just for helping to calm you down. I really like to take this right before I'm about to go to bed, and I've really noticed a difference in just my sleep and in my overall nerves. One of my favorite things that I've gotten recently is a Kindle. I got a Kindle Paperwhite, and what I really like about this is that the light there's a setting that you can put so that it's not like that blue light in your eye, but you can still read and it's super lightweight. And I got it off of Amazon and I have really been enjoying like it's now something that I really look forward to is reading for about 45 minutes to an hour right before going to sleep. And it has just been so nice. I try to read something that's either fiction or maybe like an interesting biography. Right now, I'm actually reading this book. It's called Blink of an Eye. It's by Ted Decker. And he's honestly one of my favorite authors, fiction authors. I've read it before as a kid. I've probably read this book twice. This is the third time I'm reading it. But what's nice about it is that I kind of already know what happens, but I can't remember how it ends. So it's interesting enough, but it's not something that I'm like, oh, I can't go to sleep. because I want to keep reading. You really don't want something like that because the whole point is to try to get you to wind down. And really, honestly, it's just a way for me to get off my phone. I just have to get off my phone, and this has really been helping. So I'll plug in my phone. All my alarms are already set, and basically I will read until my red light turns off because it's the wind down time is set to a certain time, and then it will go into the nighttime setting. So the red light will turn off, and then it'll continue playing those rain sounds. And that's how I know, okay, it's time for me to go to bed so that I can sleep enough so I can wake up on time. Now, honestly, I probably average about 6 hours of sleep, but my goal is to get to 7. The National Sleep Foundation recommends for women at least 7 hours. And the benefits that you get from sleeping for at least 7 hours are you're getting sick less often, which honestly, for me, this year, we're done. We're done with sickness. I've already used up all my sickness for this year. I refuse to get sick again. And so trying to be really diligent with my sleep is my primary goal. I am making it my mission to get those 7 hours of sleep. And it also helps with staying at a healthy weight. It helps with reducing stress and improving your mood. It helps with your heart health and metabolism, lowering your risk for chronic conditions like diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, stroke. It lessens the risk of motor vehicle crashes because, I don't know if y'all are from Dallas, but people here drive like they are nuts. So your head needs to be on a swivel. You need to be sharp and focused because the way people drive here is scary. Okay. So those are kind of the things that I will do to make sure I try to optimize my sleep as much as possible. I have seen the difference in when I'm prioritizing my sleep and making sure that I'm winding down properly, how it affects me in the morning. And so my first alarm will typically go off at 4 o'clock, and then I'll probably turn it off at 4:15-ish. And like I said, my hatch alarm wakes up so it's like a sunlight. And it's not like that jarring like "Mer, mer, mer" from your iPhone. Like I can't do the iPhone alarm. This one is like wind chimes, I think, and it's just like nudging you to wake up. So I'll wake up at 4:15. I have all my stuff laid out and ready to go. So I'll put that on, and then I will grab my electrolytes. And I used to be weary about electrolytes because I was just scared of the salt content and not wanting to raise my blood pressure. But I was talking with my nutritionist, and she was saying that if you're doing workouts, especially ones where you're sweating a lot, like my hot sculpt classes, electrolytes are non-negotiable. Like you need to be taking electrolytes to make sure that you're properly hydrated and you're holding on to the water. So the electrolyte that I really love is from Array. And Array is like this amazing supplements brand. It's founded by Sif Hyder and her husband. Sif Hyder actually has a podcast called the Dream Bigger Podcast that I really enjoy for business women and stuff like that. So if you're into what my podcast is, you're going to love her podcast. Definitely recommend. But anyway, they have their electrolytes, which is a clear protein. It has both collagen and protein. And the electrolyte salt is like the Himalayan salt. And it's super good. Very tasty. And I will mix that with creatine. And the brand of creatine that I use is Momentous. And I really like that brand because they do third-party testing. But creatine is also super important for just functioning and then also muscle growth and retention. My nutritionist said as well, women should be taking creatine. And I have noticed a difference in taking creatine. I feel like I call creatine like my performance enhancing drug. I really do feel like it really helps me when I'm at work to just think sharply. And sometimes when people are telling you about these types of things, you're like, is this a gimmick? But for me personally, creatine is a must. It's so good. You just have to make sure you're drinking enough water, which sometimes I can struggle with. But drinking enough water and making sure you're getting your creatine, game changer. So that, and then also, this is going to be really random, but I used to really not be a caffeine girl. I didn't really used to drink coffee like that. My husband's a really big coffee drinker, but for me, I'm kind of whatever. I started drinking coffee and making sure I have caffeine during the day. And oh my goodness. Is this how people are living? I know I'm going to sound like ridiculous, but truly, I used to only really drink coffee when I was already exhausted. Like this, I'm talking like dental school when I had to stay up late to study. I would drink coffee and I'd still fall asleep because once I'm tired and sleep deprived, coffee's not going to do anything for me. But when you've slept and then you drink coffee, because man, some coffee right before you go work out, game changer. And honestly, I had been drinking some Alani News because I had got some from Costco. And My business partner was like, "Girl, you need to not be drinking this. It's not good." And I know it's not. It's just that it's so cute and it tastes good. But I told myself once I finish this, and it's already finished. I'm not gonna buy another one. I'm on the hunt now for like a good energy drink that has decent ingredients. But honestly, I think I'm just gonna stick to coffee because I feel like less chance of really nasty stuff that could really be detrimental to my health. The jury's out on, or is it the jury's not out yet? What is the saying? Is it like the jury's out or the jury's not out? The jury's not out on energy drinks just yet. So I'm gonna put a pin on that and I'm gonna let you know what I figure out the next time I come talk to you. But if you have any recommendations for good, clean ingredient energy drinks, please let me know. Send me a DM. Let me know because I'm very interested. I'm on the caffeine wave now. So, take my performance enhancing drugs. I do not take performance enhancing drugs, please. So, anyway, I go to my workout. Now, this time around today, I met up with my friend Sarah, and honestly, having an accountability, someone that you are meeting up with at the gym, not only is it such a great way to hold yourself accountable, but it's also a great way to just have that community. Because sometimes we can fall into the trap of doing life by ourselves. And it's just so important to be in community with other people. And that was really nice. It was just so sweet. And I'm so glad that she invited me. And we're going to make this into a thing because when you know someone's waiting for you, at least for me, when I know someone is depending on me to show up, I'm going to be there. And I love that now, not only am I going to get to work out, but I'm also going to spend time with a friend that I love. So but usually I'll either do hot sculpt or weight training. And then if I'm driving to my workout this early in the morning, I typically like silence. I remember when my husband and I used to go to the same gym and we would drive together early in the morning because we would do those 5 a.m., 6 a.m. workout classes. I love my husband to death, but he would play Eric Thomas. And for those of you who don't know Eric Thomas, he's a phenomenal speaker, gives a lot of great motivational speeches, but he's kind of loud. And so you can imagine I'm still trying to wake myself up and I'm just hearing him screaming through the stereo and it was just too much. It just gave me anxiety. So it's nice. I'm not gonna lie. I love that we used to go work out together, but I do also enjoy my silent car ride to the gym in the morning. And then once I've done my workout and then when I drive back, I will listen to worship music or just something that honestly, mostly worship music. And I'll just have like a quiet time and I'll just thank you, God, for today. Give me the grace to get through today. I just pray nothing crazy happen at work. And usually it's a nice quiet time for me and God to just reflect and prepare for the day. Every so often during this podcast, I'm coughing because it's still like that residual cough that you get that doesn't go away for like 3 weeks. And it only comes on if I've been talking for a while. So I'll stop to drink water. I'm cutting them out when I'm going to be editing, but I'm only just imagining how it sounds while I'm editing, listening to myself cough. But don't worry, I will make sure that I would cut out all of the stopping and coughing and drinking water. So anyway, where are we now? So go home, get a shower, and then what I do is I'll make sure, because I make sure my meals are prepped. I just know for me, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this, reducing decision fatigue is so helpful in just being able to get through the day when you're super busy or you have a lot of responsibilities. And so having meals prepped, even breakfast, is such a game changer because then you can just grab it. I'll sit down. I also made bone broth when I knew that my husband was about to get sick. I made some bone broth with the carcasses of rotisserie chicken. So I had the rotisserie chicken for meal prep, but then I made tubs and tubs of bone broth. And bone broth can be pretty expensive, but it's so inexpensive when you make it yourself. And it tastes so good because you can season it the way you want to. And so I have been pouring myself a cup of bone broth while I've been doing my morning journaling. And it's so nice because I feel like it really opens up your stomach and it's really nice and soothing for your stomach, but it also gives you so many gut benefits. And there's protein and there's collagen, which is great for your skin and your nails. So I definitely recommend it. Making your own bone broth, it's super easy. All you have to do is just save remnants of veggies that you have in your fridge. If something's about to go bad, just throw it into a bag and put it in your freezer. And then the bones from whatever meat you're making, put it in your freezer. And then when you have enough, just throw that stuff in a big old pot with hot water, or even in an Instant Pot. If you're short on time, you can put in your Instant Pot. And I think with the Instant Pot, it could cook in less than 2 hours. If you put it on the stove, the longer you cook it, the better. I've cooked it on the stove for up to like 8 hours when I was just at home the whole day. And it's so good, and it's so good for you. And it's much, much affordable than buying bone broth at the store. But you could also buy bone broth from the store too. So those are just some of the things I've been doing, and just journaling. It really just does help to get your thoughts out so that you're not carrying so much of a heavy load when you're going into work, and you're able to show up as the person that you want to show up as. And then from there, I will drive to work, and my commute to work is an hour. I know it's crazy. I can't even believe that I've been doing that for over a year now. I've been commuting an hour to work. But honestly, it's not that bad because that's using my time to listen to my leadership podcast, anything that's really going to get me into the mindset to tack the day and just show up as my best self when I'm at work. This is actually something that my husband taught me. He was like that when you are in a leadership position, or whether you own something or you are supervisor or something like that in your work, you really, especially as a woman, you have to show up differently than maybe how you would with your friends or your family, and get yourself into the mindset of what a true leader is. And so I highly recommend listening to certain podcasts. I love the Dream Bigger podcast, like I talked about with Sif Hyder. I love Emma Greed's podcast. Emma Greed's podcast is amazing. If you're not already listening to some of her interviews that she's had, there's one that she did with Simon Simak, I believe, and it talked about leadership. And that was a really, really good one for me, embodying what it means to be a leader. There was another book that I listened to on audiobook. It's called Extreme Ownership. It was actually recommended to me by the people that I work with. And it's such a good book. It was written by a Navy SEAL, and he just talks about his experiences in the Navy, in the SEALs program, and how he had to use extreme ownership to be a good leader. So definitely recommend, if you are leading a team, if you are a business owner and you have employees, if you work with other people, even if you're aspiring to one day, it's definitely such a good book that I think everybody should read. And then once I'm at work, work days can get pretty hectic. You're answering a million and one questions. I have a mentor who is a pediatric dentist that I used to shadow in her office before I went to dental school. And one of the pieces of advice that she gave me that I will always remember is, she said that the dentistry is easy. It's dealing with people that's hard. And boy, not a lie was told. When I tell you, dentistry is the easy part. When you got burr to tooth, easy. That's the best part of the job. But dealing with the complexities of people's emotions, and you're leading a team, and you're also treating patients who don't necessarily want to be there, it is a lot of emotional intelligence that it takes to be a strong leader. And you really have to put yourself into the right mindset in order to be able to make it through the day. But once the day is done, I like to really make that transition from work into home life, especially during my drive. That is when I'll call somebody. I'll try to catch up with friends or my family and just go through the people that I need to call. I will listen to a really funny podcast. I love Kevon Stage's podcast, Here's the Thing, that he does with Angel Moore. Definitely look into it. Just something funny and something light so that my body has a chance to realize that you're transitioning from work to home. That way I can show up to my husband and not bring the drama and the stress of work home. And I think that's so important. And sometimes that can mean, like, as soon as I get home, I go take a shower and wash all that grime off, or we will go for a walk. And we used to go on walks when we lived in Las Colinas, and we lived on the water. Oh, I love that apartment. We lived on the water, and you could see it from our bedroom. And as soon as we get home, we'd probably eat dinner and then we'd go for a walk. And it was so nice. I think going on a walk is such a nice way to wind down, and also like time with your significant other, and just take a walk. And it's a time to be off your phone. But I'll just leave my phone in the house. I'm leaving it there, and just enjoy that time. It's also really good for digestion after you're done eating, going on a post dinner walk. It's really good for digestion. It also just helps, again, with that winding down. So anyway, these are some of the little tips and tricks. Like I said, this is not advice. I'm just telling you what I've been doing and what's been working for me. But I definitely want to hear what you have been doing or some of the things that you enjoy, or if there's anything that you took from what I said, definitely let me know. But one of the things I want to leave you with is just try to identify, and this is a good exercise, be the most ideal day for you. What are the things that you would do if you think of the person that you want to be in this moment of your life? Not like you when you get a certain job or whatever, but you right now. What does that day look like? What does the most ideal day look like? And then try to optimize for 80% of that. Because realistically, to try to hit all of these things, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't do all of these things every day. That's just not realistic. But trying to at least optimize for 80%, I think is a healthy place to be at, because then if you go above that, that's something to be proud of. But recognizing that most times you're probably going to be at 80, if not 70%, and that's still good enough. It's good to not be in that all or nothing mindset, but giving yourself grace to live in the reality that you're not going to always get every single thing on the list. But being aware of what that is, I think it's very helpful to help you move into that person that you want to be, who's going to be able to do all the things that you want to do. This point of the podcast, I have a new segment. And I don't know if I talked about this last time, but this segment is going to be called Minding My Business, and the things that we can do to help ourselves. And I thought minding my business it has a cute little play on words. Let me know what you think. My minding my business tip for today is use ChatGPT to do your to-do list. So what I have done is if I have like a really busy day, especially on my days off, there's so many tasks that I like to accomplish. In the morning, I will sit down and tell ChatGPT, hey, these are all the things that have to get done. These are all the things that I would like to get done. And these are all the things that, hey, if I can do some of it now and some of it later, that would be ideal. And I even tell it, hey, this is what I'm dreading doing, and this is what I'm looking most forward to. And ChatGPT can help you put together a schedule for that day where it allows you to eat the frog first. If you've ever heard that saying, do the hardest thing that absolutely needs to get done first, and it will give you time markers. And that has been so helpful for me, giving myself hard stops, like hard time stops of when to do things and when to get things done. So that way I can optimize my time more efficiently. And so give that a try. Let me know how that's working for you. It has been done wonders for me. But anyway, this has been a really fun episode. I hope you liked this episode. Definitely let me know in the comments and send me a DM. Reach out to me on Instagram or TikTok and let me know how you felt about this episode. Tell me what resonated with you. Oh, before I forget, I'm going to do a little giveaway for all of my listeners because I appreciate you guys so much for taking the time and even listen to me yap on this podcast for 30 to 40 minutes or ever how long this podcast is going to be. So as most of you know, I own a jewelry business called Amara Dallas. And what I want to do is I want to gift 3 listeners a piece of jewelry. And the way that you make yourself eligible to win this is by simply, I want you to leave me a comment. I want you to leave me a review on Spotify. Tell me what your best takeaway was or something that you liked from this episode. And the first person to leave the comment and screenshot it and send it to me, I will send you whatever piece of jewelry you want from my website. So just a nice, fun little giveaway for all of my listeners, just to let you guys know I'm so appreciative and so thankful that you take the time to listen because I really do enjoy doing this. So anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful week and I can't wait to see you back here again in 2 weeks. And thank you guys so much. All right, bye.